Hello and welcome. It's the completion of the 19th day of December 2018. My name is Derek. I'd like to welcome you to the Money Charts channel. And I think this is going to be a very good video. And in this video, it's going to be not talk about technical analysis much on Bitcoin. In fact, I'm just going to go through it very quickly as I've went through a lot of it. This is an attempt getting above the 18 average of highs, thus reversal of trend. Fibonacci lines drawn in, and we can see right now it's hanging in there, supporting for several hours now amongst this key one there. But this is long-term analysis, mainly towards overall global markets, movements of markets, because when I take a look at this, the stock market and Amazon stock market chart, things look very interesting as far as the perspective of the entire economic situation. So as I'm predicting, long story short, or yeah, I guess you could say predicting, doesn't mean it's going to come true, but and I'm going to get the Bitstamp chart up so I can draw on here. And I want to keep these lines on for as long as possible. So if I'm drawing on the Bitcoin chart, I pretty much need to pick another exchange. So let's put in the Bitstamp one, which has more data as well. And we'll also add some more years. So we got 20, even some more years on top of that as well. There we go. So now we got this moving into the end of 2022. If I want to draw amongst this line, and whether this is the bottom or whether we even have bottom going further, to me it's like, man, whatever, because I'm talking about point A low, point B high, and then whatever, of course, this point low happens to end up coming down towards. But if this has a decent sized leg higher, we look at this number, this one, what would this number be at around? Well, that would be a little over $250,000. But knowing that side, realizing that you can have extreme moves lower, like, yeah, who cares if it goes down and loses 93% of its value, because that's what markets do. So if it wants to do it, so be it. That's how I look at it. Let it do it. Anyway, what would be ideal is after this bottom comes in, whether it be now, whether it be within the next year or so, that's what I think will happen. Following such, a very good move higher. Now, if things work really well as I would like, this could be extremely fantastic possibilities moving forward. Let's now take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And in doing such, this month of December, currently down, well, it's only 9.5%, but it's a decent sized red candle move. And the volatility this has had in the past, well, it's not spectacular, but what do markets do after key highs and key lows? They do the next. They have a high, they have a low. And would this be on the upper end of the chart or the lower end of the chart? I'm not teaching grade 3 stuff. It's so obvious to know that at some point, whether it's now or whether it's the next year or two, we're going to need a decent sized correction lower. Maybe it only down to here. Maybe it goes sideways for a decade. That counts. And maybe it ends up going further. But in viewing even more periods amongst this chart, and giving myself some room to display some extra time, I guess this takes us into 2022, so this will work. Although I'm going to remove the volume because that's kind of distracting. And I really don't want to make predictions here, I guess. I know I did with Bitcoin, and I guess I should remove that and maybe say what wouldn't surprise me, or I think in a really just a bet of weird circumstances, this is what looks like could be the case. So I guess, yeah, whatever you want to call for prediction. But it wouldn't surprise me if we come down and have some sort of retracement. It could be light. It could be relatively deep, and it could be an interesting deep one. But whether it makes within the 2009 lows a higher low, a matching low, or a lower low, I'm guessing thereafter that it's going to be making, again, what would be not only a higher high, but a significant one. I got this upper scale to 120. It could even 120,000, which is about a 6x move from where we are. And I think it could even go higher than that. And interestingly, back, we'll say, would have been, where would it have been? Maybe around here? I was talking with one of my friends, one of the people who were getting me into market trading. And we had a conversation about the stock market and hyperinflation. And I was talking about fiat currencies, how the stock market's going to crash, inflation's going to go way up. And one of the things that he mentioned was, okay, if there's a situation where you have inflation and gas prices and things go up 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, they keep going higher, then the stock market should be inflating amongst such as well. And I'm thinking, he makes a lot of sense. And when I look back after the fact, both of us were right. For I talked about this head and shoulders, oh, we're going to 8,000, and it went a bit below it. I was right. But that was all it had. And then 2009, quantitative easing, all that kind of stuff comes in, and it's been going higher. Okay? It makes sense that when you have those bad times, you got to have those market maneuvers, because you've got to have just the fear around the world and how the economy sucks, people needing liquidity, moving out of cash. That's why I'm predicting it's going to be a point X, point letter high, point letter low, and then the next high to be higher than this one, regardless of where this goes down. Moves like this, they most certainly are capable of coming into place. Let's now move this on to Amazon, and I think this is a very good chart when, as a cryptocurrency trader, and understanding the psychology of market movements. And even for that matter, those who hodl, as they state, hold on for dear life, meaning markets go down, they're at least not selling and thus holding through. For if one were to buy these back in 1998-99, if you were to buy Amazon, let's say 100 or 90 or 87, and then you start to see, okay, we go into 2000 and this thing is going down to 34. I bought it at 100 or I bought it at 90. I mean, holy beep, whichever 4-letter word you wish. But it's just beginning. As Halloween comes in, end of the new year, $20. It was 100. And then 911 occurs and it's $6. Goes from 100 down to 6, losing about 93-94%, or about a 18x loss. And a lot of people are going through those types of losses, especially Ethereum holders and of the like. But if you bought here at like 80 or 100, and now you're looking at 15x gains, 17, 18x gains, it worked. And this blimp that a lot of people lost a lot on, got freaked over in here, let alone even this one in here. I'm going to throw that one aside. But in that situation, it was lighter, but you still seen the market get back to that 100 key level, but this time only fall to 40. 100 only falling to 40, only losing 60% of its value. And then it's been in a major, amazing uproar. Ideally, what would be nice is if over the next couple of years we see the stock markets start to fall, cryptos start to rise, which could happen. But are these markets going to have a retracement, do a point A high, point B low kind of play? Because if the stock market falls, is Amazon going to be safe? Think of it this way. What stocks are going to be winners moving through? And that answer is, to me, really simple. As we continue within what I think is getting to we're almost as bad, I think, as we were in 1932, 33, as in concern to how bad the things really are in the world, or at least Canada, United States, Europe, Australia, all those areas, how bad things are compared to what it was in 32 and 33. I think we're getting close to that. It's probably going to get much worse. And thus, things get so bad, the stock market's going to fall. And situations like that could be a reason why people do get into cryptos, when they realize that it's the economy that sucks, this is the case, the dollar that sucks, everything's so bad about it, and the markets go lower. And then people would get into cryptos that way. I'm just throwing that point aside. If it works out as well as it could, what I'm hoping for is I want to buy stocks. I want to buy a lot of stocks. I don't own a single one. And which companies during really, really bad times are going to survive? Because as we move into 2024, 2025, the question becomes, which companies are going to still be there? Is Amazon going to be able to survive all this type of stuff? They're the ones, to me, that are destroying a lot of other companies. That having a move like this would most certainly not be a surprise. But even further, I'm really expecting that the stock market and owning the shares of stocks is going to be very crypto-related blockchain. And pretty much the same thing. I can send people Bitcoin today. I could send people Amazon shares in the future the same way, buying and selling them in the, of course, evolution and changes included, the same way as you would be trading cryptocurrencies as well today. And in fact, having an exchange where Amazon is traded directly against Bitcoin and Ethereum and of the like, that would be something to be expected. And that'd be cool to be able to buy, turn Bitcoin into stocks like this. And that could be something that could help a stock market out too if this happens in, say, like sometime in like 2021. And then at that point there, these things would do very well if they're able to survive. Companies that aren't able to survive these really, really bad times, well, they're going to go down the wayside. So as an investor, does it make sense that a company like Amazon would do well when you consider the fact that they're at least still in control of what is a good, basically a monopoly for the most part? And they're almost taking over the business side at this point. I do not see them going on that if they're able to adjust to the times, then they're most certainly going to thrive, because adaptation and those who are able to adapt with new times, realizing that new times are consistently always ever changing, especially when looking decade over decade, and able to adapt to those things, are going to be the ones that are very successful. And when your C&A business is able to do such, then those are the ones that I think are going to do very, very good. So I'm going to end this video, but I do believe there's a lot of opportunities with stocks. A lot of stocks are going to have some decent falls at some point. And when you look at it without knowing any fundamentals, if you just show me this chart, you don't give me any years, I don't care about the prices, as long as you tell me this is several years. That's all I need to know. If you're saying, okay, this is what the last 20 years of a chart looks like, okay, that's great. What do you expect? Well, point A low, point B high, we've got this low. It's already overextended. I mean, this could be a top, this could be a top, this could be a top. I don't know where it's going to be, but we're going to have a low. So from this point on, I mean, it could be, this is a good one. And the higher it goes, the bigger the retracement, I would expect. So that's what that's why for me, I want to see these stocks up like this have a very good run lower. And then at that point, it's determining which companies are good investments, and then work from that point on. But a lot of waiting involved when you look at how the market is. The Dow Jones is just showing signs of possibly reverting. And if we do a very quick technical analysis on this for about another minute or so, and we'll just quickly work our way back, you can see the great run up. So 18 averages just managed to go sideways. You hit this move on the October month. Now 2 months just hanging in with 18. That just makes it go sideways. So now what do we do? Are we going to leave this band down, up? And of course, as I state, It's just at some point it's got to revert lower. It hasn't done it yet. Weekly chart, of course, now this is where things are going to start to get interestingly volatile, and in a lot of cases negative. You got this choppy up and down action where consistently now defending the 18 average as resistance in a new downtrend. If we look at stages for reversal of trend, stage 1, band flatten out. Stage 2, in this case, establish support. Stage 3, come back to the band. Stage 4, break resistance. It barely did such. So then you did it. Say, for example, you're short here. You're betting for it to go down. Did your stop get hit? Because it didn't go above the 18 average of highs here. So if it did, bad stop order is all I'm going to say. And now we see this leaving the 18 average going lower. We've already been to this level of support 2 times hit right here pretty much. This tells me that we're probably going to have another leg lower. And one interesting thing about this that I want to get into, because I wanted to talk about a video about this. If you're trying to play a game within this, you can scroll this back and forth. What you do is you go, okay, what do you think the next 3 periods, 10 periods, or whatever is going to be? Is it going to be up, or do you predict it's going to be nicely up or nicely down, stuff like that? And then you say to yourself, okay, let me just quickly go back. I'm going to close my eyes so I'm not even seeing it. Okay, obviously that was... Okay, let me just close my eyes so I don't see it again and not bring anything up. Okay, so I look at something like this. Oh, what do I see? Okay, I see. Let me just see if it breaks the pattern that I'm looking for. I want to break resistance. Okay, do we confirm it? Yes, okay. So I look at something like this. This is where I'd make a guess. Oh, I think it's going to go up. So how do the next few periods look? I was right. Playing games like that is what I'm referring to. I'm going to fast forward this to current. So now I'd be playing the game. Oh, this is where I think it's going to go down. And I'd be even in here. If it just barely breaks below, probably have a decent leg going further. Daily chart, you got all these gap moves or whatever, but you can see what I call a double top, which is 2 reverse U's or V's or a pair of, and you can insert whichever noun you choose. And it's looking like it's going to break down support, so we could easily have a decent leg lower. And then, there's no even real need to show any more of the shorter term time frames. And that's it for my video. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.